Hello and welcome along to this brand new series from FM22 with me, Daniel. It's part 3 of Rebuilding Helsingborg, and we are back with things going pretty comfortably, I'd say. We've got a lot of positives on our side of things. We've not been vintage for the most part this season, but we are doing enough to get over the line, and at the moment, we look like we're going to be winning the title at a canter. However, today we come up against the two sides who were the next favourites to win promotion this season. But crucially for us, both of them are really disappointing. They're actually in a relegation scrap at the moment, so we'll see how they get on. Because if we win these two and continue our unbeaten start, I think we might be focusing on next season being the main challenge of this series. We've also got some problems financially, and we've got the summer transfer window incoming. So if you're looking forward to seeing how things go today, then please do chuck a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. You can find links to our other FM22 series up in the eye above. There's also links to the Twitch channel, the football podcast, and the merchandise store too. And you can also support the show as a channel member by clicking the join button down below. But we've got to address the elephant in the room here, because the two sides we're playing today, we saw them, they've got good sides on paper, and they were the favourites to challenge us for the title. They are 9th and they are 12th. And the middle of the table is very compact. There's 4 points separating 15th and 5th. There's 3 sides in a little group behind us that have managed to get some wins, and then one at the bottom with no points. So in hindsight, maybe would have been a better challenge. But it really is a strange situation where you've got sides that on paper are virtually as good as us, not competing at all. And hopefully they'll produce performances today and get going. But it's been a little bit weird and underwhelming for me. We've talked about AI squad management, but that shouldn't come into it here. Bar one fixture, which is actually this midweek, the second of today's episode, we haven't had any midweek games. We've played one game a week, so has everyone else in the league, and I don't really know where the struggles would be. It's not going to be the fatigue, it's not going to be the tactics, it's not really the transfer market, because there hasn't been a lot going on. I don't get it. All of the things that I thought were making FM a bit too easy or a bit too inconsistent from AI management this year hasn't really stacked up here. So I don't know what's going to come next, but let's have a look at the schedule and see what's been happening for us, because things have been going swimmingly, and by no means have they been vintage. If you take aside the whipping boys at the bottom of the table, we've really struggled to get victories. We've had this weird mix of being really solid at the back and then just having the odd game where things go nuts. So you were with me for that brilliant 1-0 win at Trelleborg, and actually, away from home, we've been a little better defensively. We then won 4-3 against the side who are now in second place. The annoying thing here is we were 4-1 up at half time. Lerpa, Vidal again, who's just been a colossus from set pieces, and 2 for Hendrickson gave us a comfortable lead, but we got pegged back and almost ended up throwing it away. They had a goal ruled out for offside in stoppage time. We then beat the bottom side 4-0. Lerpa's brace, Lundberg and Vandenherk got his first of the season. 3 of those coming before the red card, which didn't have a huge impact on the game. A 2-0 win at home to Eskilstuna. That was Lerpa and Almaged who got his first of the season. Both of those after a red card that was crucial towards the result. Away at Landskrona, we won by 4-2. Took till the hour mark to get ahead for the second time. Hendrickson had initially given us the lead before Vandenherk, Vidal and Johnson got one apiece. A 3-0 win at home to Norby. That was Henriksson's early penalty, followed by Lingman and Vandenherk. A 2-0 win at Vasselens. Vandenherk and Lerpa, the regular scorers for us. A 1-0 win away at Orgreit. That was Lerpa late on, who has been the star. We mentioned that aerial threat being 6'2" at the back post from crosses, and he's really delivered this season. It's been an absolute superstar for the team. And then a 3-1 win at home to Falkenberg's last time out. 2 for Lundberg, who came in for Vandenherk, who was injured, and Davidson, the left back, got his first of the season, as we are absolutely flying. I'm looking at GIF. I don't know if they've sacked their manager yet, because they're the side we're playing today. Has he been there from the start? He has. So despite the fact they're expected to finish second, they're 15 points off the top. They're about 8 points or 9 points off second. Nothing's happened to him. Same at Varnamo. Expected to finish third. They're in mid-table. Nothing's happened. So a little bit of a weird one. I don't really know how to explain what's going on. I guess we might get some more indicators when we play these 2 games. I look at the positive though. If it does continue to go well for us and we do wrap up promotion, I'm sure based on performances we'll have a few frustrating draws, but I still think we'll be alright. If we go up, that side, particularly GIF, is one we can maybe nick 2 or 3 players from next year to help us compete in the top tier. Because once we're playing the likes of Malmo, I'd imagine it's going to get a little trickier. And if we go to the Swedish Premier Division, it's much the same there as well. So many draws, so many sides evenly matched. There is definitely something going on here, because that is really, really weird. And we're seeing at least 5 or 6 draws every match day. So let's go and get into the first of these games today and see if we can avoid being the victims of the draw again. GIF Sundsvall are the opponents, massively underperforming, not got a good goal difference and only won 3 of their 10 games. So can we put them to the sword again? Because we have had a very consistent side this season, and for the first 7 matches of the year, we were able to name exactly the same 11 every week, and that made a huge difference. The last 2 games we've had to make a few changes, and this is going to be our first spell of 2 games in 3 days because of international honours. So we might have to make some adjustments here, but I'm going as strong as possible, and we're going to try and get through as long as possible with that team. I'm wary of the fact that Henriksson has been on international duty for the Faroes, as has Davidson, our left back. And I'm going to bring back in Van den Herk, who's returned from injury. Lundberg will go onto the bench for Alham Lawi, who's also just come back from injury. And aside from that, we're pretty much at full strength. It's been a really good season so far. I've tried to rotate the ones we use on the bench just to give us as much option as possible, try and keep people happy. But we very much know what our first 11 is. A quick shout out to Vidal, who's been absolutely brilliant. He's improving massively. He's scoring goals. I think he's our 3rd top scorer. He's 4th top because Henriksson's got 4 as well. But he is going to become a superstar and maybe will be one of the names of this save later down the line. But our 11 for today is Anders Lindegaard between the sticks, Landgren and Davidson the fullbacks with Weiberg and Vidal as centre half. We've got Almajed, Henriksson and Lingman the midfield 3, with Lerpa, Tahar Ali, who's maybe been the one disappointment of the season, and Van den Herk up front. If we can in the summer window, I'd like to look for a more traditional left winger, someone who plays left-footed, because both of the options, Qaid and the starting Ali, are playing off the right, and that doesn't really seem to be working for our tactic. The team's got better as we've moved them to an attack duty, but not had the impact it has at other clubs. We've also got Landgren at right back, who is the weakest player in the squad. We obviously signed Carr late in the transfer window, but he's got himself injured for the long term. So at the moment, they're probably the 2 areas I'd like to upgrade the team. But for now, we're going to get through this game, try and enjoy a positive result. If we do that for this one and the midweek fixture, I'd say we're promoted already. So let's go and get into the first of the 2 games, see if we can pick up another big win. And here we go, the supposed promotion favourites. Well, let's see what they've got on the biggest day of them all, because they should be much better than they have. Really inconsistent, struggling to even get in the top half and out of the relegation scrap. Or can they turn their season round today? Because this could be the sort of match where a whole season hinges. Let's ask the lads to carry on their last performance, a few of them motivated defensively. Into the first half we go. GIF Sundsvall, the disappointments of the season, against Helsingborg, flying at the top. Well, a quiet start for the first 10 minutes as we get a long ball downfield which Vidal heads away. His aerial presence is at both ends of the pitch as Davidson plays through. Van den Herk just loses out there, almost through one-on-one, as Etok gets it up to the front man, into Engblom on the left-hand side. First threat we've seen from GIF, and they have started okay by all accounts. Stenson through to Etok, and it almost does change. Through one-on-one, he should have scored just wide of the near post. Lindegaard thankfully did enough to close the angle. And with half an hour gone, a couple of concerns. The side in second place in the league are winning, and Weiberg, our star centre-half, has got an injury. So on will come Ali Suljic. He's not quite as good, but hopefully it'll be alright for today. 60 minutes with him though, and it's not been the best performance so far. So let's hope we get a response soon. Can it be another one of those vintage 1-0 away wins as Almajed on the right from a throw-in finds Vidal. He's got support from the sub, but goes to Davidson instead, and wide to Henriksson. Back to Suljic. Goes to Davidson. Don't know what Suljic is doing out on the left wing, to be honest, but at the moment he's keeping possession as it finds Tahar Ali. Through ball to Lerpa, who makes the run. And a really good save down to his left by the keeper for GIF. It's a corner kick, which will be taken in swinger. Davidson, the left back. To the back post, Vidal's up, Lerpa's up. Neither of them win it this time. Goal kick, still 0-0. Just a few minutes left to the break. As we're back again for the last minute of the first half, as Anderson has it at the back for the hosts. Eriksson. Not really any pressure on him. We don't press quite that high up the pitch. It's only really when it goes to the fullbacks and midfielders we start to engage. As Eriksson finds Lundstrom, his right back. Now Tahar Ali closes the space. It finds Etok though. And they've managed to play through these lines a fair few times. As it goes back to the right hand side again. We are forcing them back. That's the only positive. But when they get through, they've had 2 or 3 really good opportunities one-on-one. And I think we need to try and prevent that second half, though I'm not sure the best method. As Anderson releases Hellenius. Etok through to Engblom. He's one-on-one. And deservedly, you'd have to say from what we've seen, Sundsvall take the lead on a stroke of half time. And it's all falling apart. The first time we play the good sides on paper, it starts to go wrong. I guess we've had the better of the stats, but from what we've seen here, we deserve to be behind. And the big sides, they might be inconsistent under AI management, but they turn up for the big ones. Gonna tell the lads I'm just disappointed in them. Few nerves about, which is a little bit weird. Let's go and get into the second half, but it's clear to see losing our star centre half has made an impact here. As we're back with a free kick on the left-hand side in a very dangerous position. Looks like it was won by Davidson, and a yellow card surely will be picked up for that. As the cross comes in, Lerper's at the back post. That seemed to be taken really quickly. Davidson took it just after the ref had given the card, so the player wasn't even back in position. I'm not sure that's entirely realistic, but I'm not going to complain, because Lerper was then unmarked at the back post. But now it's all going wrong. This is the issue at the moment. We had it for the first time in the last couple of games. Injuries are coming at the wrong time. And it's the man who we probably shouldn't have started with the heavy match load. Oh, it's a position we've not got a huge amount of cover. But Rasmus Johnson is the one really strong backup. So I'm going to stick with him in the box-to-box role. But 2 subs enforced by injury, that could have an impact as we move on in the season. Regardless though, Wilhelm Lerma is the superstar. He's got us an equaliser. We're back on terms. We've got half an hour to find a winner. As it's Langren on the right-hand side with a throw-in. Very dangerous position again. Almajed crosses. Up goes Lerper. It's going to be a penalty kick, isn't it? You always tell when you get that little 1-second glitch that a penalty's going to be given. He's pulled down. We had him at the back post. And now Van den Herk takes the penalty. Only because Hendrickson went off injured. But he scored. We've turned it around like that. And we seem to be doing the same thing every week. No matter what circumstance, we find a way to win. 3 more subs can be made. We're going to have to look at fatigue in a moment. But we deserve it on our second half performance. We've been absolutely excellent. And again, look how many draws there are. A lot of 0-0s as well. But we're going to make a few subs. So Davidson, the left back, he's tired and on a booking. Rursa, the lone player, will come on for him. We'll take off the nervous Langren at right back. We'll bring on Zuka for him. And then Lundberg can come on for... In fact, no, we'll bring on Kaid in centre midfield for Lingman. And we'll just stay like that for now. I'm not sure which way round they're best. But we just need to keep people fit. And now we've lost Henriksson, we can't lose the other centre mid. As Davidson down the left, this will be his last contribution. Cuts it back to Almajed. Finds Johnson. One of the early subs finds Langren on the right. Another man coming off any second now. Gives it to Johnson again. And Lerper. Chance to shoot, but tries to be tricky. Gives the ball away. It falls for Langren though. His cross is headed clear as far as Davidson and Tahar Ali. Just waiting for his season to ignite, but nothing doing there. Just a simple pass. And Davidson gets down the left again to Lingman. Back to Almajed. We're very comfortable in possession. We're keeping the ball. We're maintaining fitness. And hopefully we can maintain the outcome. As Sulic goes wide again. This is a very long highlight. We all know what it's going to lead to. A goal or a great chance. Davidson down the left, blocked out for a throw-in. It leads to neither. Commentator's curse. And what's more, the side in second place have been pulled back as the goalkeeper gives it away there for the hosts. Straight to the centre forward who finds Lerper. And Zuka goes inside to Almajed. Chips forward, it's headed away. Engblom finds Anderson. Long ball forward, Hellenius in. Good challenge from Suljic on a yellow card. He does well because he would have been sent off if he'd missed time that. As Lerper comes down the right. Doesn't beat his man again. Anderson gets back. And he plays it short to his centre-half Lasso. Wide to Anderson again. Into midfield for Engblom and Dennis Olsen. Zuka wins it, but it still falls for Engblom. Anderson over to Berman. They're in one-on-one here. They've got support as well. But that's why you have a big-name, experienced keeper. Anders Lindegaard to the rescue. We've got almost an entirely back 4 on now. And it's showing. Lindegaard makes another save from a header from the corner. And we tend to go. We're clinging on. But GIF have had a great chance there. The second place side are back in the lead as well. How are the other lot doing? Varnamo are winning too. So maybe things are just starting to happen. Because after all I said earlier, there's only 2 draws in the league now. As Anderson puts a corner in. Make that 3 in the 94th minute. I was just about to go to the time wasting. And we've conceded an equaliser. The first drop points of the season and 2 big injuries. This could be a real concern. Let's skip ahead to the dressing room. If Hendriksen's out for any period of time, we might need to dip into the window in the summer. Because 2 signings we had planned, I think we might be making that 3. It's only a 4-point lead at the top now because GIS did win their game, albeit only narrowly. And again, nearly half the games are draws, all of them settled by 1 goal or less. It's really tight and tense, this league, but we are on top at the moment. So no complaints, GIF turn up for once. Now we face the third favourites for promotion, who have made their way up to 5th in the league. Well, Hendriksen's out for 4 weeks. Not a good time for it really, considering we've got our first back-to-back doubleheader. But we're going to miss him for 4 or 5 games. It is what it is. We'll leave that to the physio. Weiberg only out for a day or 2, so might struggle for midweek, but he'll be fine by next weekend. We stay unbeaten 10 games into the season. We stay top pretty comfortably. Lerpert, the superstar, as is so often the case, and now Varnamo are the next opponents. Back in 3 days' time. It is fitness test time, and the good news is it looks like Charlie Weiberg has made it. We need to have some of that defence back because we saw towards the end of the last game we were just getting carved open a bit too early. Now I should say, my main issue isn't here having Hendriksen out because Johnson is a really good deputy. We lose a little bit from set pieces, we lose a little bit from the penalty spot, free kicks, and a little bit of that long shot rating that we like to have. But Johnson's a very good player at this level and he's solid enough for a month or so. However, the issue is we don't really have any centre midfielders beyond those 4, particularly with the other lad who joined in the summer who's not available. I think what we're probably going to have to do from this game onwards is promote one of the summer signings. You remember this guy, Marcus Canto? He came in for £3,100. He's 2-star ability, he's not great. But I think just against some of the bottom half teams, having him on the bench might make a difference. But now though, we've gone as strong as possible. And that means just the one change. Although look at Vidal. He's not got the best conditioning. Davidson's got a heavy match load. Do we make the same mistakes again? Or do I rest them at the weekend when we're playing a side who are higher in the league, but not as strong on paper? It's a tough situation. I think I'm going to stick with my policy, play your strongest team at all times. So Vidal and Davidson will be tested, and we'll probably end up with a backup back 4 again. But for now, we're going to stick with as close to the 11 as possible. Just Johnson in for the injured Hendriksen. Through to the game we go. Varnamo doing the better of the 2 promotion contenders this year. But they're still underachieving until tonight. Can they change it against us? Well, again, I'm not recognising many names, of course. But we know we're going to be favourites for this one. We're at home. We've been pretty formidable here. Not got the biggest attendance in the world. But we're getting about 4,000, which is better than most sides we're visiting. Kim Hellberg is the manager who's trying to cling on to his job. We've got most of the lads motivated. Tahar Ali's inspired. Could it be his day to turn up and be a superstar at last? Well, 20 minutes on the clock. It's been a pretty dull game so far. Doesn't seem to have been many chances and certainly no dominance from us. As Weiberg plays out to Tahar Ali on the left, inside his own half. Back to Lingman, who crosses halfway, plays the big ball to Van den Herk. Holds it up well, goes right to Lerper. We've got the wide pitch here, which allows us to get to the wide areas and the byline like that. But the cross is overhit to Tahar Ali. Davidson keeps it in though on the left-hand side. Goes back to Weiberg. We'll probably have to start again here as Davidson finds Almajed. Chips forward to Van den Herk. Was he onside? Doesn't matter. He's challenged. He dallied on the ball. Just took a bit too long. Wanted more time than he had. And it stays 0-0 with half an hour gone. Only a few shots on target. Shared between the 2 sides. No one really looks like scoring. Though we tend to the break. We've got a throw on the left with Davidson in an advanced position. Plays a 1-2 with Lingman. And gets towards the byline himself. Back to Almajed. First pass is blocked. Second one's brilliant. Lerper hedge just over. He normally scores chances like that. Imagine if we could get another big left winger as well. And have them on both sides at the back post. It'd be incredible as Davidson puts a free kick in. Just beats his man at the far post. Back to Johnson on the edge. And Almajed. His shot's just over the bar. We're starting to crank up the pressure. I think half-time is coming at the wrong time for us. So we've got a free kick just inside their half. 2 minutes to the break. Lingman finds Johnson to Tahar Ali. Oh, he has turned up. Tahar Ali is the star tonight. We got him inspired and he's finally delivered. Cutting in from the left. It's a great through ball from Johnson, the deputy in centre midfield. Ali just curls it round the keeper, caresses it into the side netting. And at half-time, we're on top. We're 1-0 up. And I think the title could be heading our way. I don't want to get complacent too soon because we've seen second half season collapses many times over the years. But at the moment, we're putting in a worthy display and nobody else looks consistent enough. Well, a quarter of the game to go. We've seen absolutely nothing of the second half. And I've got to protect people from injury now. Lerpa and Vidal are knackered. Davidson had a heavy match load. Those three have to come off. I'm sorry. So Suljic, Röser, and on the right, it'll be Lundberg to come on. In terms of the other ones, in fact, we'll put Lundberg up front. And we'll put on Kaid, switch Tahar Ali to the right. That'll cover those 4 positions. And then Lingman can come off of Benjamin Aqua. No idea what he's like in centre mid. Is he better than Kaid there? He's not. So I'll put Kaid centre mid and Aqua out to the left wing. Hopefully with those 5 made, won't have too much of an impact on the game because we saw what happened late on at the weekend. So with 15 to go, we've finally got our first highlight of the second half. Röser and Aqua combining on the left, the 2 subs, and finds Kaid. Oh, that nearly went in. It's a wonderful effort. Curls it from 30 yards. The keeper was scrambling. But in the end, it doesn't hit the back of the net. Just get us to the end with the 1-0 win and no injuries. It'll be another one of those classic gritty performances. But can we pull it off? We've got a minute and a half of stoppage time to go. And Suljic is playing back to Lindegaard, who gives it to Weiberg. To Lindegaard again. He can go to his left back here and does. Röser the substitute. Plays into midfield, does he? No. Takes his time. Eventually gives it to Kaid. And Johnson produced the goal with that wonderful through ball. Does the same again for Lundberg. And he dinks it wide of the post. That is a quite horrendous finish, to be honest. But a really good performance. A really gritty result. And if we can get the results while we've got injuries as well, that really does bode well for the title push. This will put us 7 points clear with 11 games played. Yes, we've struggled a bit more in the hardest games, but I don't think anyone else is consistent enough. As Aqua loses it in the middle, we're talking like we've won. There's still 20 seconds here as Weiberg wins it back. Really good play to Lindegaard. Out to Röser on the left, and that should just about be it. 5 seconds left. Blow the whistle, ref. Down the left to Aqua. Are we going to see anything more? We're not. Another ugly but crucial 1-0 win. Tahar Ali finally turns up for a big game. And we have got ourselves right at the top. And we're big favourites to win the title this season. Let's go and have a look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back. And of course, there might be some transfer action too. So I'm just having a look at the schedule here because although it's not on here at the moment, the transfer window is open from the middle of July to the middle of August. We've also got our first cup game due around late July, I think. So that could be in this midweek here. So I think we'll depend on who we get in that draw. But if not, we're going to come back for GAIS in a league, who are second at the moment, and transfer deadline day. Because that, I think, will be the most entertainment. The off the pitch now is about building for next year and the perceived promotion it looks like we're going to get. Because I think the main challenge is going to start next year now. At the moment, it just looks a little too comfortable. And as long as we can avoid a real injury crisis, I think we're going to be all right. So if you did enjoy this episode, a really solid 1-0 victory, and a little bit of a scare away at GIF, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Do you agree with my assessment of where we should improve in the summer, or do you have any other targets or areas in mind? Don't forget, the director of football's doing most of the work here. We're just setting the targets in terms of positions and then players if we find anyone spectacular. If you want to stay up to date with the series and see how the rest of the season goes and who the summer additions to the club might be, then please do subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on for daily FM22 content. There's also links in the eye above to the Twitch channel, the football podcast and the merchandise store in the meantime. But above my head now will be yesterday's Hemel Hempstead episode. Please do give that a go and I'll see you back here for a top of the table clash and some transfer news from the summer in Sweden.